Well, I just want to again thank our presenters today. I think this has been really, nice, and hopefully everyone else is feeling inspired listening to these other examples of. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to share my screen and talk to you at the same time, so clearly I can't do both. Let me just focus myself. Okay. There we go. Can everyone see my slide? Yes. Okay. So, I hope getting a sense of, the different types of activities that are happening, at a very high level, like the type of stuff that we're doing at Gloss, lake scale, like what Brian and Cleveland Water Alliance are doing, or, addressing a specific local information need, like what Elena and Current are working on for the Chicago River. These are all examples, all great examples of ways that the work that we're doing can contribute to helping us realize smart Great Lakes, and the type of activities we want to continue to support and elevate through the Smart Great Lakes initiative. So I'm going to very quickly go through, sort of wrap up the next steps. We're going to try to do some breakout sessions at the end, but I don't think we're going to have time to do that. So let me just get through it. So if you're interested in participating and want to know how, here are some thoughts on that. So obviously, we want to encourage folks who are, carrying out these projects to continue doing that and connect with us so we can figure out, what are some ways that we can, like I said, support and elevate the work that you're doing. Perhaps you're filling a specific role within this data to information supply chain, and we certainly value that and want to make sure that we can continue to support those activities. And if you're a user of the information, your feedback is really helpful for us to understand how we can make sure that the projects we're working on are as effective as they can possibly be. But probably the most straightforward deliverable that we're trying to achieve here in the short term is the development of a common strategy document, which I sort of alluded to in my earlier presentation. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that document, but I just want to also kind of highlight that we sort of see that there can be multiple levels of engagement for people, whether you're a general partner who's participating in meetings, workshops, projects, or writing teams. Perhaps sort of like a next level of commitment would be a steering committee level, which would include committing to help with the development of the strategy document, which I'm going to talk about, and really serving as advisors to the Smart Great Lakes Initiative to help us prioritize our activities moving forward. And then finally, sort of a smaller core group of folks who are really committed to taking on that leadership role and those responsibilities that can help make sure the initiative is successful. So those are the three levels of engagement that we're looking to get your involvement in. If you look at the GLOS strategic plan, we do have a timeline that we have developed sort of internally for how we would like to see, at a high level, this initiative progressing. And towards the end, it's intentionally vague because we really want the Smart Great Lakes Initiative to be directed in a more collaborative manner. But we did identify the development of this common strategy document as one of the early deliverables that we would be working to support. Now, when I say common strategy document, I think I also mentioned earlier that I was a bit inspired by the Great Lakes Regional Collaboration Strategy, which was the precursor to GLRI. I meant that very literally. I was literally inspired by that document. And referred to it really as a point, a reference point for developing a sort of outline for how we might craft our own common strategy document around smart Great Lakes. And I think the intention here is really to work together to communicate and develop a common vision for smart Great Lakes. You know, obviously GLOS described what we see as being smart Great Lakes in our strategic plan, but we really want to make sure, like in an active way, we're convening a large consortium of partners to contribute to this vision. And I think some outcomes of this exercise would be to identify opportunities for collaborative or cooperative projects, and really maybe, you know, what we all kind of need, and maybe what will fundamentally be the motivation for everyone, which is to collectively promote increased investment in things like monitoring open data and technology innovations, right? So this is something that we can take to funders, we can take to Congress and say, these are our priorities. This is why we need more investment in the Great Lakes region. As a way to tackle the development of this document, we've identified 3 high-level topic areas that we see being best served through the Smart Great Lakes framework. And the topic areas certainly overlap, but they can also be advanced independently in certain ways. So we see partners in the initiative fitting into 1 or more topic areas: science and innovation, data and information, management and policy. And the steering committee can kind of help provide review, advice, and guidance for how the work under each topic area would be best coordinated or supported by the larger initiative. The document itself, again, taking point of reference from the Regional Collaboration Strategy, that document was sort of organized in this way where each topic area had a problem statement, goals and milestones, recommendations with a rationale and costs. And I see that we could do the exact same format essentially for these 3 topic areas. Although I do want to sort of explicitly include existing efforts as part of that exercise, again, to help acknowledge you know, all the good work that's happening in the region already. And just to help, I'm not going to do this for each topic area, but just to help give you a sense of like, what does that even look like? Again, I kind of ballparked this really quickly myself, but the intention here is that, you know, a larger group of people would provide input to developing this problem statement. But just as an example, let's say for the topic of science and innovation, you know, what is the problem statement? What is keeping the Great Lakes from being smart in a way that is addressed by science and innovation? And so, you know, we have the need to sustain, expand, and upgrade existing monitoring programs and foster development and adoption of innovation in science and technology. That could be an example of a problem statement. We could acknowledge existing efforts or potential efforts, like all of the various monitoring programs that exist right now. The work that Brian's doing with Cleveland Waterlines around Smart Lake Erie, or an effort like Lakebed 2030, which is an effort to try to do comprehensive bathymetric mapping of the Great Lakes by 2030. You know, those are the types of activities that could be acknowledged in this. And then maybe as we're working together to craft this problem statement, we identify some priorities, such as the need for year-round monitoring technologies in the Great Lakes. You know, we do have a terrible blind spot during winter months when we're not able to do real-time monitoring. So maybe that's something that emerges as a priority that the regional partners can get around. And so I've done this for each of the other topic areas, but I'm not going to get into it for the sake of time. Just to give you a sense of our timeline for developing this document, it is a bit ambitious, especially given a lot of the COVID-19 related delays. But we are going to be issuing a request for information next month with responses due in June. And this RFI will be used to inform not only the common strategy document, but also GLOS's next 5-year funding proposal to NOAA. Into the summer and fall, we'll be working to develop like a rough draft document based on, you know, all the existing literature that exists out there already, as well as, the input that we've gathered through this request for information process. We kind of acknowledge it's very hard to get people to write like a document like this from scratch. So we want to have like a straw man or a draft ready for people to react to. And we'll seek help from writing teams over the fall and winter to review, edit, and refine those drafts. And so, even though we might not have a final document exactly ready by, Great Lakes Day next March, we do expect to have a finished document that we can present to congressional offices in DC or related government and program partners in Ottawa, for instance, and any other possible funders who can help advance some or many aspects of this common strategy document. And the intention is to have that by next year. Oops. And so we're hopeful also that there may be some low-hanging fruit type projects that will emerge also through this RFI process, and intend to also issue some Smart Great Lakes mini grants that will be available to fund projects underway in 2021. So if you're interested in participating, I just want to share Katie Rousseau's contact information. She is our Smart Great Lakes liaison, and she's helping us, really make sure that this maintains momentum and that there's, staff support for all of this work. And then because we are, I think, officially on time, I'm just going to kind of wrap up now. We did have some breakout questions for you guys. I do want to encourage you to think about, how you might contribute to this common strategy document, what you think some of the major issues or challenges are that could help us characterize these problem statements, and maybe share some examples of existing efforts that you know of that can contribute to us making the Great Lakes smarter. And then we do have one final polling question, which is, I think, is what we're going to leave you with. If we can put up the final poll, which is, how engaged do you want to become in the Smart Great Lakes initiative? And thank you, the majority of folks, for still staying on with us, even though we've gone a little bit over. I appreciate it. As we're waiting for those poll results to come in, I'll just say a little reminder that the webinar is being recorded and will be made available along with any Q&A from the chat along with the webinar on the GLOSS website after the fact. Katie's going to send out a survey to all the attendees tomorrow, Wednesday, asking about your level of participation and also these breakout questions that we were not able to get to. So encourage you to provide your input in that survey tomorrow when you get that email. I hope that you'll keep an eye out for the request for information that's being posted next month, and get engaged in future opportunities that we have for the Smart Great Lakes initiative. Thank you guys for all your time and interest. It looks like we're about 80% voted, so we'll wrap it up. So the majority of you are interested in being kept up to date on progress. That's great. We will definitely make sure that you guys are all updated and engaged as we move forward. And we'll follow up with those of the other of you, or the rest of you who have indicated other levels of engagement offline. So I hope everyone has a safe and healthy summer. Take care, and thanks again for your time this afternoon. Bye.